Right, so today we're going to unpack something pretty fascinating. It's this paradox, really, how one guy, Elon Musk, still has such a massive kind of multifaceted influence on crypto.
Hmm.
We've looked through a whole stack of stuff, news, market analysis, and it all points to his, unique sway.
Yeah.
So our mission, basically, is to figure out the specific ways his actions, his opinions, how they ripple through the crypto market, and what that really means for a tech that's meant to be decentralized.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is that contradiction you mentioned. The whole point of crypto, the ethos, is decentralization, right?
Yes.
No single boss.
Exactly.
And yet, Musk's impact, it kind of highlights this weird paradoxical centralization of influence. He's not just moving prices, he's actually shaping how people see it. Adoption. It's almost like he's become this, I don't know, accidental central bank of sentiment for parts of the market.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And here's where it gets really interesting looking at the sources. His statements, his tweets, especially about Bitcoin and definitely Dogecoin, they pretty consistently set off these immediate, big price swings.
Oh, instantly.
Seriously. Our research showed single tweets, sometimes stuff that seems kind of random, directly linked to billions shifting in market cap, within minutes.
Wow.
Remember the whole Dogefather thing for SNL? Doge surged beforehand, but then took a big dive during and after. It just shows how hypersensitive the market is, even to just, perceived vibes from him.
And it's more than just a celebrity tweeting, isn't it? That fast reaction, it really shows his unique power over market sentiment. Crypto markets, unlike, say, traditional stocks sometimes, are super reactive to public perception. So when someone with that kind of huge engaged following says anything, that perception shifts, and boom, you get these fast, often really volatile price moves. It's like an instant feedback loop. It's kind of wild.
And it's not just talk either. His influence goes way beyond Twitter, or X, I should say. Let's pivot to what his companies are doing. Tesla, for example.
Ah, yes. The big one.
That initial $1.5 billion Bitcoin investment, that was huge news. And they even, tried accepting crypto for payments for a bit. These weren't small background moves.
No, definitely not. And those moves were incredibly significant. Why? Because they gave this powerful shot of legitimacy to digital assets. In the corporate world, I mean.
Right, a big company stepping in.
Exactly. For a major publicly traded company like Tesla to sink that much capital into Bitcoin, well, it sent a very clear signal. And look, even though they sold some later,
Yeah, they did.
Tesla still holds a pretty substantial amount. That really signals, I think, a continued belief, or at least interest, from the institutional side in crypto's longer-term role. It's not just a fad they completely backed away from.
And the vision keeps going, right? He's actively working on financial products like X Money, and the potential for actually integrating crypto payments right into the X platform.
Okay, now that's where things could get really interesting. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the potential impact is just massive.
How so?
Well, think about it. It's not just another payment feature. It's about potentially bringing crypto quite seamlessly to millions, maybe hundreds of millions of users globally.
Wow.
Integrating digital assets right into everyday online stuff. It could genuinely reshape how we handle money online. It really broadens crypto's reach way beyond the sort of enthusiasts into the mainstream.
What's also kind of fascinating is his dual role. He's clearly been an advocate, especially for Dogecoin.
The Doge father himself.
Right. But he's also been a pretty sharp critic at times. Remember the whole thing about Bitcoin's energy use, the environmental concerns?
Oh yeah, that definitely made waves. And this raises, I think, an important question about how influence can actually drive change within an industry.
How do you mean?
Well, his critiques, particularly about Bitcoin's environmental footprint, they were just tweets into the void. They genuinely sparked these big industry-wide discussions.
That is true.
And arguably led to real changes, or at least a much bigger focus on finding more sustainable mining practices. The crypto community itself started responding. So his public comments can actually shift industry priorities. It's quite something.
And then, of course, there's just Terran. His public persona, the nonstop media coverage.
Yeah.
It just amplifies everything he says or does related to crypto. You kind of can't escape it if you follow the space.
Precisely. That sheer visibility makes him this central figure, almost like a gravitational force, shaping how the public sees crypto and how investors behave all around the world. It's a level of individual influence you don't see very often.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening to this and trying to navigate the crypto world?
Well, whether it's through a tweet, a big company decision, or, maybe future products, Our sources make it pretty clear. Musk's influence is undeniably still shaping the direction, the adoption rate, and yeah, the volatility of crypto.
And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Given this ongoing, pretty powerful influence, what are the future implications? What does this concentration of power mean for a technology whose whole thing is supposed to be decentralization? How might that tension evolve as crypto matures? And what does it signal when one person can still apparently move markets so much? We're thinking about what stands out to you in all this.